Boom! We're back.
Wasn't ready for that.
Back for another video. Yet again. Us back again.
Again? Are we back? Oh, I'll hold this.
This is Celebrity Ghost Stories. Part 2.
Did you see that?
No.
Could have been a ghost. It went off completely.
It always could
It
be.
went off.
Right. This one. This is a story from one of your favourite stars of sitcoms.
My favourite stars of sitcoms.
Yeah. From one of your favourite sitcoms.
Is it Gilmore Girls?
No. Is that a sitcom? No. It's How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, who are we talking about? Neil Patrick Harris?
No.
Marshall Erickson?
No.
Robin Scherbatsky?
No.
Lily?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is
not my favourite character though. What's her name? Hannigan?
Alison Hannigan. This is her story. So, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer star clearly has her own ghost slaying to do.
I get it. Okay.
In 2003, Hannigan claimed she lived in a haunted house, but she didn't mind. Hannigan explained, I haven't...
Is this another sexual encounter?
Let's find out. I have a ghost in my house. I saw him a couple of months ago. I don't think he died there because there's a law in LA that when you buy a house, if somebody's died there, they have to disclose that, and nobody did. So I don't know why he's there, but he's very friendly. My friend saw him first one night. She said, I don't mean to alarm you, but I just saw a man follow us out of the house. And I said,
I would be alarmed.
well, at least he's gentlemanly. He let us go first.
I like where you're coming from.
However, that was not the last of Alison saw of the spirit. She continues, later that night, I saw this silhouette of a man standing in the bathroom doorway. I was like, sweetie, what are you doing? I thought it was fiancé Alex Denisov. But then I looked and Alex was asleep next to me. I'd love to get his name. I'm thinking of putting a little chalkboard where I think he lives to see if he'll write his name down.
Was she asleep?
She says later that night she saw the man standing in the bathroom doorway. She didn't say she was asleep. It was night time, but it sounds to me like she was probably awake. Like fairly awake. So I know like she's not that worried. She said he's friendly, but that's seeing someone follow you out of the house and then seeing someone stand there and realise the only other person in the house is asleep next to you. That's still a bit spooky.
I would. How would you not get chills? I'd get full chills. I would freak out if I'm like, babe, what are you doing over there? And then I turn and you're just in bed next to me and I'm like, no, I can't even imagine it. What do you do?
Chills is what we're going for. Chills is the goal.
I don't like it.
Here we go. This is another good one. Nick Cage.
Okay,
We all love a bit of Nick Cage.
Please.
Cage certainly believes in ghosts and even bought a serial killer's home as inspiration for a book. I once lived in the most haunted house in America, he told Vanity Fair. The LaLaurie Mansion in New Orleans used to belong to Madame LaLaurie, a well-known 19th century socialite and serial killer. I bought it in 2007, figuring it would be a good place in which to write the great American horror novel. I didn't get too far with the novel.
Right.
No stories, but
That's it.
he intentionally bought a pretty creepy house. He's too many busy filming. He does so many films with Nick Cage. And most of them are great.
His career.
Do you want to hear Demi Lovato's story? She goes ghost hunting. Let's read this one.
Okay. I want to see if she just ghost hunting videos. I would 100% watch that.
Lovato saw her first ghost when she was only 8 years old. I totally believe in ghosts, she revealed on the Mac at Night radio show in 2011. When I shut it, I saw a little... Shut what? I don't know. She says, when I shut it, her gob, I saw... I saw a little girl.
Wait, is there not more context?
No, there's no context. She was dressed like she was from the 1800s and was standing in my closet. It must be the closet then. But it doesn't say at the start, it just says, when I shut it. She also told BuzzFeed in 2013, I go ghost hunting. My house in Texas is so ridiculously haunted. Not by a bad spirit, but a little girl. I think her name is Emily. I've had a medium come over and ghost hunters, and they both told me the same name, Emily. There were so many times that I saw her, and when I was growing up, I saw her in my closet one time. When I was 3 years old, my mum caught me talking to something by myself. She asked, "Who are you talking to?" And I said, "My best friend Emily. She's playful. She'd probably be around 11 or 12 years old, maybe younger." One of my friends, Tucker, came over one time and he asked, "So your house is haunted?" I said, "Yeah, just watch, something will happen. Something always happens." We started to watch a movie when all of a sudden a laptop in my kitchen started to play a movie also. It was a black screen before, so it was a question of who turned it on and hit play. And after that, Tucker texted a friend saying, "I think this house is haunted, a movie just turned on by itself." And there was a glitch in his phone that kept texting him back the word "definitely" over and over again. That happened about 30 times.
I can't do with child ghosts.
No,
Is there more?
the spookiest kind. There's a tiny bit more. There was another time when my uncle was in the living room watching TV and a balloon came down the stairs and turned around on the banister. I have crazy footage of orbs flying through the air, it's crazy stuff. A balloon came down the stairs and turned around on the banister.
Yeah,
Any
I
thoughts
think.
on that?
I mean, there's always that thing like when we're kids just like talking to things that aren't there. That happens so much, and I'm like, ain't about that. Especially if it's like kid ghosts. Absolutely not.
No.
That's not okay. That's just scary. That's straight up scary. I'm not okay with that.
I mean, yeah, on the one hand, it's arguably scary because you would hope most ghosts wouldn't be kids,
Yeah.
right? But then, I don't know if that's what makes it unnerving.
I
Like
think
more
it's
unnerving.
kids in general are a bit unnerving.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, no, they are, aren't they? They're a bit out of control, of kids,
They're
right?
little weirdos, aren't they? They're not finished, so we can't really.
They're not completed.
They're not finished. Let's move on. This sounds good. From the little bit I read just then. Peter Jackson, you know, director of The Lord of the Rings, as we've been watching. We've watched the first two. Again, yeah, well, yeah, we've already seen them. My friend Adam has not seen them. So we're watching them again.
Stumble across this video.
He'll definitely stumble across this one.
Definitely.
Probably not.
100%.
Anyway,
Monday.
Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings director, had a creepy encounter with a ghost in New Zealand about 20 years ago, in an apartment that Fran, my wife, had, he told the Telegraph in 2010. One night, I woke up and there was a figure in the room. She was really scary. Her face was like a silent scream. She glided across the room and disappeared into the wall. He told Fran in the morning and she said, "Was it the woman with the screaming face?" We had never spoken about it. She had seen the same ghost 2 years earlier, so I do believe in some energy, a spirit or a soul. A silent screaming face, now that's a pretty... That's a creepy image.
That is a creepy image. That gave me chills.
And just
and the
silently
gliding.
and gliding, yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's some classic ghost story stuff there. Let's move on. No. Ryan Gosling, aka Ken. Gosling reportedly said his family moved out of their childhood home because it was haunted. He just sat, and I knew from a very young age that he was a ghost too. He scared me. I told my mother, but she couldn't see him, nobody could, and I learned to live with that. I had to, he said. Then a few years later, my mother thought she saw him, then almost right away my cousin saw him, and then my uncle, and we were out of there in fairly short order. If he fleshed it out more, maybe that would be
People not
interesting.
believing you. You wouldn't
Yeah.
believe me if I saw a ghost. You
Wait.
would not believe me. You'd call me crazy.
Weird that, like, only he saw him, but then all of a sudden everyone saw him. For some reason.
And then they took it serious.
Bit odd. But stop looking.
I'm trying to see who I'm looking at.
You're not. You're supposed
Who
to.
is that?
None of your bees.
Carrie Fisher.
We'll read this one. Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
A friend of Fisher's overdosed while sleeping next to her in her mansion. Following the events, Fisher revealed to Vanity Fair in 2006 that she felt the presence of his ghost in her Beverly Hills mansion. Lights would go on and off, and I had this toy machine that when you touched it would say,
Bleep.
"You, eat,
Bleep.
you're an
Bleep.
apple."
I love that.
And it would go off in the night by itself in my closet.
That'd freak me the fuck out.
I was a nut for a year, and in that year I took drugs again. She then had an exorcist come and cleared the air. Short story, but interesting.
Phoebe Clinton.
Might have to figure out how to bleep that.
I could do it for you. We could do a voiceover and I got bleep.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. No, not that one.
How would you tell me a story? Tell me a story. Do it like this is interesting.
Am I gay test?
Let's take it.
No. The spooky stuff, right. This is a story called The House That Terrified Britney Spears and Brittany Murphy. What are you laughing at?
Oh, you were gonna say this is what I could call the Am I Gay test? And it surprised me that you didn't say it. Sorry.
Okay.
Roll it back. Start it again. Say it again.
A House That Terrified Britney Spears and Brittany Murphy.
I'm doing better. What's wrong with you? Babe, just do it again.
This is The House That Terrified Britney Spears and Brittany Murphy. First of all, as we all know, Britney Spears has been in the news fairly recently. Where some crazy little Instagram videos she's been posting.
The dancing one?
The dancing, you know, after what was that thing she was caught up in? Conservatorship with her father, and then she's out of that now, and she's doing whatever she wants, and it's been a bit of a news thing, and I think this is semi-related to that. So it starts off talking about her trauma, Britney's trauma. In the podcast We Need to Talk About Britney, there was an interview with her makeup artist who worked with her between 1999 and 2004. During which, without a doubt, we can agree was her most iconic period, according to this, when Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake shared a home together. This house was on Sunset Plaza, and she described it as really weird. After some partying, Britney needed to relax. Julianne had her friend come up to the house to do a Reiki healing session on Britney. She swears that this Reiki healer opened some sort of spirit portal or did something. Julianne was her makeup artist, just so you know. She believes that a few bad spirits have come through the portal, specifically a male and female spirit. Julianne explains that Britney said that the spirits were fighting and that they tried to push her down the stairs. The paranormal activity ended up getting so bad that Britney left. Here's a direct quote from her. Quote, "It was so bad that she left. She went to the Casa del Mar Hotel to stay there and never went back to the house again." She goes, "I know you're going to think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I know what I saw. I know what I felt. Blah, blah, blah." And I was like, no, I believe in that too. So it didn't really weird me out that much. She was very persistent about it, and she put her house on the market. So, I mean, if you're going to get pushed down the stairs by some ghosts, you're probably going to want to get out of there, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, it says here, a mysterious death. As we know, Brittany Murphy ended up dying in this house after she collapsed in the bathroom just 1 year later. Oh yes, because Brittany Murphy bought the house from Britney Spears. Her death is seriously mysterious and could have been caused by a number of things like anemia, pneumonia, prescription drugs and other pills. I need to make it clear that Brittany Murphy did not die in the house. She collapsed and was taken to the hospital where she later died. Then her husband Simon Monjak died in the house just 5 months later. It's confirmed that he did die in the house, as that was how he was found. So Britney Spears has some weird experiences after a Reiki healing where she feels like she was almost pushed down the stairs, and then 2 people die in the house just months later, it says. That's a bit weird. Brittany Murphy's mother filed a lawsuit saying that the couple died of toxic black mold, but lab reports also said that Murphy had an abnormally high amount of heavy metals in her system, which is also weird. Full of steel, it's gonna be heavy. Can you even walk about like that? Brittany Murphy also wanted to flee the house, apparently, Before his death, Simon Monjack said that Brittany would sometimes beg to not sleep in the house at night and go to the Beverly Hills Hotel instead. Also, the only room in the house that Murphy liked was the bathroom, and that was the room she was found in.
Wow.
Suggesting that maybe she experienced the same things as Britney Spears.
And she wanted to go to the safe place.
Yeah. Theories and questions. From what I'm understanding, the original house where Brittany Murphy and Simon Monjack died has been torn down and rebuilt. If this is the case, it means that the paranormal activity taking place there isn't tied to the house, it's tied to the land. Finally, I don't know if Britney Spears has some sort of psychic abilities. What if the male and female spirits that she said were haunting the house were actually the spirits of Brittany and Simon, meaning Brittany was experiencing and seeing the events of the future? And that's not...
Oh no, I don't know.
some time travel crazy. It's not Ghost then,
That'd
is
make
it?
for a good film.
Good film. Probably nonsense, but it'd be a good film. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking it's probably a couple, right? And it's interesting that because was Justin Timberlake living with her?
It seems like it,
Britney
yeah.
Spears? Yeah, there was a couple.
I think she was. Well, I think it was that they were living together in that house and then they broke up. She was in the house on her own for
Right,
a while and then
okay.
got rid of it.
Gotcha.
Do you believe it? Don't know. Let's go for another one. For this particular article, there's a bit more background on the house that Nicolas Cage bought and why exactly that was a creepy house to buy. Aside from the fact that it was owned by a serial killer. Owned by socialite Madame Delphine LaLaurie and her husband, Dr. Louis LaLaurie, the house has long been known as the obscenely cruel setting for the torture of slaves by the infamous Madame. It's no wonder then that the history of the home and its villainous character is being featured in a new drama on FX called American Horror Story.
I was just gonna say, I was like, why is that ringing a bell? And I was like, when they mentioned something, like, oh no, that's because that's with Kathy Bates. That's
Yes.
that series.
I've not seen that.
Coven, is it?
Yes. The LaLaurie house itself, the history is troubling even to Nicolas Cage. The actor owned the home before losing it to foreclosure in 2009, so he didn't even sell it. He lost it to foreclosure. Cage told the New York Daily News that in addition to the LaLaurie house being a fine architectural specimen, he was enamored with its ghostly past. You know, this is a quote, you know, other people have beachfront properties. I have ghostfront property. That's what I always say. I have not experienced anything, but I like a bit of mystery. And the house has such a mystery to it. Some of the stories about it are pretty horrific, Cage said. So he didn't even experience anything.
Nothing.
Forget you, Nick Cage. Not reading about your stupid house, you didn't even experience it.
Oh my god.
This one, you like this person. This is about Elvira.
Oh hell yeah.
Elvira says LA mansion she sold Brad Pitt is extremely haunted, but he loved it. So, Cassandra Peterson, best known as Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, warned Brad Pitt the LA home she sold him in 1994 was haunted, but instead of being afraid, he says he was very excited about it. He bought it for a reported $1.7 million. And it sold after nearly 30 years for about $40 million.
Hella cash.
Here's a quote from Elvira herself. I've seen people walking around upstairs, for example, real people just walking. One time, a ghost was sitting downstairs in front of the fireplace, once walking into my bedroom and back out. In another instance, we saw a person floating around at the bottom of the pool, things like that. I know that sounds nutty. I'm Elvira. I know you expect that from me, right? She says, with a laugh. But she insists, I don't have hallucinations, I wasn't high, and I can't explain those things. Peterson says that the spooky events started happening immediately after she and her ex-husband, musician Mark Pearson, moved into the 29-room mansion. The former couple even had a priest come in to do an exorcism. I had all kinds of things, because it was really getting to a point of like, I don't know if I can continue to live here. So we were telling Brad about all that, and he loved it. I mean, there are not many buyers who that would be a selling point for, but he was like, oh, that's awesome. I love that. He appreciated the house so much. We got together like 3 times, I think, before he bought the house, the horror icon adds. noting that she was 9 months pregnant with her now 28-year-old daughter, Sadie Pearson, when Pitt purchased the home from her. Brad was just wonderful, and I met his mum and dad at that time, and they were such sweet people. He was always kind and sweet. There's nothing else about any actual experiences, unfortunately. But it's always seeing people who shouldn't be there, just walking about the place suspiciously. Very suspect. There's not too many kind of more extreme ones where people are directly interacted with by the ghosts.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's any in this final story. This is a story about Helena Bonham Carter,
I am a fan.
who says that Princess Margaret's ghost told her she was better than the other actor considered for the role.
Yes! That's an interaction you want, isn't it?
Okay, she has claimed Princess Margaret's ghost appeared during a session with her psychic. So she's into this stuff anyway.
Yeah, man.
And told the Crown star she was better than the other actor being considered for the role. Appearing on The Graham Norton Show, Bonham Carter talked about how she used a psychic to speak to the late Princess Margaret in preparation to play the role in the 3rd series of The Crown, which launches on Netflix, blah 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
I did meet this is a quote, I did meet a psychic who's a friend of mine, and I was seeing her, said Bonham Carter. She does healing, she does other things, but she also has a talent for mediumship, and as I was seeing her for something else, she said, "Oh, Margaret is here, does that mean anything?" And I said, "Yes, it does." Bonham Carter later explained she was being considered for the role of Princess Margaret at the time. I said, "Well, yeah, if you've got the horse's mouth in the room, and you're not going to say no." She said, I said, "Yeah," and I asked, that was all worded a bit weird, I asked, "Would you mind if I played you?" She did say, "I think you're a better idea than the other actor." They never told me the other possibility. It was a very typical Margaret thing, she added, explaining that when she had previously met the princess when she was alive, she had a way of sometimes complimenting you and putting you down at the same time. I think that's called negging.
Negging?
I think so.
Is it?
I believe that's a thing. The ghost apparently said, "I smoked in a particular way and always remembered that the cigarette holder is as much a weapon for expression as anything else, and that was a good note." When Bonham Carter turned to her co-star Olivia Colman and asked her if she believes in talking to dead people, Colman replied, "No."
I love Olivia Colman.
So
No.
that's that story.
Wow.
Kind of a positive note to end on.
Yeah, I like that.
Sometimes ghosts are just friends. Well, I hope you enjoyed them stories. Some of them were fun, some of them a little bit spooky, some of them were a bit meh. But, you know.
It's very interesting. I like that you get ones where people that I like.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a surprising amount. Like, there's quite a lot of stories of different celebrities who believe in and have seen ghosts, so it's not an unusual thing, really. Thanks for watching. If you know any other celebrities with really good stories, post them in the comments. Maybe we'll read them. Maybe they'll scare us to death and you won't see us again. But probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not, though. Alright. See you in the next one. Bye.